Most people are taught, directly or indirectly, that manifestation works like a transaction. You think about what you want, you focus on it intensely, you visualize it clearly, and if you're consistent enough, reality eventually responds. This idea is comforting because it makes desire feel powerful. It makes effort feel meaningful. It gives the mind a sense of control over an unpredictable world. But if this model were accurate, far more people would be living lives that match their imagination. And yet, when you observe reality honestly, you notice a contradiction that most teachings quietly avoid. Millions of people want abundance, yet their financial reality remains tight and stressful. Millions want love, yet repeat the same emotional patterns with different people. Millions want peace, clarity, and freedom, yet wake up each day feeling rushed, anxious, or internally incomplete. These people are not lazy. They are not unaware. Many of them are intelligent, reflective, and sincere in their efforts. And still, the outcomes do not change in proportion to the wanting. This is where the first uncomfortable truth appears. A truth that challenges the foundation of how manifestation is commonly understood. The universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. Wanting is not the creative force. Identity is. To understand why this matters, you have to look closely at the nature of desire itself. Desire always comes from a perception of absence. When you want something, you are simultaneously confirming that you do not currently have it. This confirmation is not philosophical. It is biological and emotional. Your nervous system, your emotional baseline, and your internal assumptions all register desire as a signal of not yet, not here, or not me. And reality, rather than correcting that signal, mirrors it. This is why wanting often produces waiting. This is why chasing creates distance instead of closeness. This is why people who are constantly trying to manifest often feel like reality is just out of reach, as if something invisible is delaying the outcome. The universe is not testing patience, it is reflecting state. Every moment of your life, you are broadcasting information. Not through your words, not through your affirmations, and not through your conscious thoughts alone, but through your identity. Identity is the sum of what feels normal to you. It is the emotional atmosphere you live in. It is what your body expects. It is what your mind assumes without questioning. Identity answers questions long before you consciously ask them. It decides what feels possible, what feels realistic, and what feels too good to be true. And the quantum field, whatever language you choose to use for the underlying intelligence of reality, responds to that identity with astonishing precision. This is why two people can want the same thing with equal intensity and receive completely different results. One moves forward effortlessly, the other feels blocked. The difference is not luck. It is not moral worth. It is not spiritual favor. It is alignment between identity and outcome. Most people misunderstand this because they confuse wanting with intention. Intention is directional. Wanting is emotional. Intention says, "This is the direction I am moving." Wanting says, "This is missing from me." Reality responds to the second far more than the first. This explains why many manifestation techniques feel temporarily uplifting but fail to create lasting change. Affirmations may create a brief emotional high. Visualization may produce momentary motivation. But if these practices are layered on top of an unchanged identity, the system eventually returns to its baseline. The excitement fades, doubt returns, and reality stabilizes at the same level it always has. The problem is not that the techniques are useless. The problem is that they are often used to bypass identity rather than transform it. Identity is not what you say about yourself. It is what your body believes. It is revealed by your reactions, not your intentions. It shows up in how you respond to uncertainty, how you interpret delays, and how you emotionally relate to possibility. If abundance feels stressful, your identity is not calibrated to abundance, even if you want it deeply. If love feels unsafe or unstable, your identity will unconsciously recreate distance. even if you consciously crave connection. If ease feels unfamiliar, you may sabotage it without realizing why. This is not self-sabotage in the dramatic sense. It is homeostasis. The nervous system prefers the familiar over the positive. It will choose what it knows over what it desires if the desired state feels unsafe or foreign. This is why sudden success often feels destabilizing to people. Their external reality shifts faster than their internal identity can adjust. The result is anxiety, imposter syndrome, or a subtle urge to return to the old normal. Reality did not overwhelm them. Identity lagged behind. Understanding this reframes manifestation entirely. Manifestation is not about convincing reality to give you something. It is about becoming congruent with the version of you for whom that reality is normal. This is where many people resist, because it feels like responsibility. If reality reflects identity, then delays are not punishments. They are information. They are feedback. And feedback removes excuses. But this is also where freedom begins, because if identity is the signal, it can be recalibrated. The universe is not withholding outcomes, it is waiting for coherence. Coherence occurs when your thoughts, emotions, nervous system, and assumptions align into a single, stable signal. Incoherence occurs when you say one thing, feel another, and expect a third. Most people live in incoherence without realizing it. They speak positively, feel anxious, and expect disappointment. The field responds to the expectation, not the language. This is why the phrase, "you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are," is not motivational. It is descriptive. It is not advice. It is mechanics. Reality does not need persuasion. It needs clarity. When you observe people whose lives seem to flow, you will notice something subtle. They are not emotionally gripping their desires. They are not constantly checking for results. They are not negotiating with the universe. There is a quiet assumption beneath their actions, a sense that things work out, that opportunities appear, that they are supported. That assumption is identity. They may still work, they may still plan, but their effort is not charged with desperation. It is guided by expectation rather than hope. And expectation is far more powerful than desire. Hope implies uncertainty. Expectation implies normalcy. The universe responds to normalcy faster than intensity. This is why manifestation often accelerates the moment people stop obsessing. Not because letting go is magical, but because obsession collapses identity into lack. When the emotional charge dissolves, identity stabilizes. And when identity stabilizes, reality reorganizes. This is also why people often experience breakthroughs after periods of surrender, exhaustion, or acceptance. They did not give up. They stopped signaling absence. They stopped asking reality to fill a void and started inhabiting a state. Most people are not blocked from their desires. They are over-identifying with the version of themselves who does not yet have them. This is a subtle but critical distinction. You can desire growth while still identifying as incomplete, or you can move toward growth while identifying as capable, supported, and aligned. Reality responds differently to each. Identity is not changed through force. Force creates resistance. Identity shifts through repetition of experience and regulation of the nervous system. It shifts when new states become familiar rather than exciting. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. Intensity spikes emotion. Consistency rewires normal. Manifestation is not a dramatic event. It is a gradual recalibration of what feels like you. Once you understand this, impatience begins to dissolve. You stop asking, "Why hasn't it happened yet?" and start noticing, "Who am I being while I wait?" That question changes everything, because the waiting itself is a signal. If waiting feels tense, identity is signaling lack. If waiting feels calm, identity is signaling trust. If waiting disappears entirely, manifestation accelerates. Reality does not move in response to pressure. It moves in response to permission, and permission is granted by identity. This is why the most powerful manifestation shifts often happen quietly, without announcement, without dramatic rituals, without emotional highs. They feel almost ordinary until you look back and realize your life is no longer the same. At that point, it becomes clear that reality was never resisting you. It was responding to you with perfect accuracy. If this message is reaching you now, it is not random. It means you are ready to move beyond wanting and into alignment. Not by chasing outcomes, but by understanding the signal you are already sending. Because the universe is not asking what you want, it is answering who you are. To truly understand why you don't attract what you want but what you are, you have to move beyond motivation and enter mechanics. This is where manifestation stops being inspirational language and starts becoming a description of how reality actually behaves. Not philosophically, not symbolically, but functionally. One of the most disruptive discoveries in modern physics is that reality is not fixed until it is observed. At the quantum level, particles do not exist as solid objects with predetermined locations. They exist as probability waves, fields of potential. Only when observation occurs does one possibility collapse into a specific outcome. This alone unsettled classical science. But what unsettled it even more was the realization that observation is not neutral. The observer is not separate from the observed. The state of the observer influences the result. This does not mean your thoughts magically move particles like a fantasy. It means something far more subtle and far more powerful. It means that reality organizes itself differently depending on the context of observation. And that context includes the observer's internal state. Most people misunderstand this because they think observation is about looking. But observation is about interpretation. It is about expectation. It is about assumption. It is about what your system is prepared to see as real. Your identity determines that preparation. Identity is the lens through which probability collapses. Two people can observe the same situation and experience entirely different realities. Not metaphorically, but practically. One sees opportunity, the other sees threat. One experiences flow, the other experiences friction. The external conditions may be similar, but the internal calibration is not. The quantum field does not respond to conscious wishes. It responds to coherence. Coherence means alignment between thought, emotion, nervous system, and assumption. When these elements are aligned, the signal is clear. When they are fragmented, the signal is noisy. Most people live in noise. They say they want abundance, but their body is tense around money. They say they want love, but their nervous system associates closeness with danger. They say they want freedom, but their identity is built around control. The field does not respond to what they say. It responds to what is consistent. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. This is why emotional spikes rarely manifest lasting outcomes. Excitement creates energy, but not stability. The field does not collapse probability around excitement. It collapses around expectation. Expectation is quieter than desire. It does not rush. It does not plead. It does not need confirmation. It assumes. And assumption is one of the strongest forces in reality creation. Assumptions shape perception. Perception shapes behavior. Behavior shapes experience. Experience reinforces identity. Identity reinforces assumption. This loop runs constantly, usually without awareness. Manifestation is not breaking this loop. It is upgrading it. To understand why effort often fails, you need to understand how the nervous system interacts with identity. The nervous system's primary job is not happiness or success. It is survival. It seeks predictability above all else. Predictability feels safe, even when it is uncomfortable. If your identity has adapted to struggle, the nervous system will resist ease. If your identity has adapted to waiting, it will resist immediacy. If your identity has adapted to instability, it will recreate it, even while consciously desiring peace. This resistance is not conscious sabotage. It is biological loyalty to the familiar. This explains why many people experience discomfort when things start going well. They feel uneasy when there is no crisis. They feel suspicious of calm. They feel anxious when outcomes arrive too easily. Their system has not yet learned that the new state is safe. The quantum field mirrors this hesitation, not because it judges, but because it reflects. Reality does not override your nervous system. It cooperates with it. This is why manifestation accelerates when the desired state becomes emotionally neutral rather than exciting. Neutrality signals safety. Excitement signals novelty. The system integrates safety faster than novelty. This also explains why children often manifest effortlessly. Their identities are flexible. Their assumptions are not rigid. Their nervous systems are not yet locked into narrow definitions of what is possible. As identity hardens with age and experience, possibility narrows. Not because reality shrinks, but because perception does. Manifestation, then, is not about expanding possibility. It is about relaxing limitation. When identity is rigid, probability collapses into familiar outcomes. When identity is fluid, probability remains open longer. And openness allows different outcomes to emerge. This is the real meaning behind letting go. Letting go is not emotional detachment from desire. It is detachment from the identity that insists on control. Control is the nervous system's attempt to manage uncertainty, but control creates contraction. Contraction reduces coherence. Reduced coherence weakens the signal. The field responds best to relaxed clarity. This is why people who are constantly monitoring outcomes delay them. Monitoring reinforces lack. It says, "I am waiting for proof." And waiting is an identity state. When you stop checking, something changes internally. Not because you gave up, but because you stopped signaling absence. The system shifts from seeking to allowing. Allowing is not passive. It is receptive. Reception is required for collapse. The observer effect works both ways. Observation can collapse possibility, but it can also keep possibility open. When you observe from tension, outcomes narrow. When you observe from trust, outcomes expand. Trust is not belief. Belief requires effort. Trust is familiarity. Trust emerges when identity no longer argues with possibility. This is why manifestation is not achieved by convincing the mind. The mind is not in charge. The nervous system is. The subconscious is. Identity is. Your conscious thoughts are late to the process. They narrate what has already been assumed. This is why repeating affirmations without embodiment feels hollow. Words without state are noise. State without words is signal. Reality responds to signal. The quantum field is not a thinking entity. It is a responsive one. It reflects patterns, not pleas, frequencies, not fantasies. Your emotional baseline is a frequency. Your self-image is a frequency. Your expectation of how life treats you is a frequency. These frequencies combine into a signature. That signature is what reality answers. This is why manifestation is not about getting something new. It is about expressing what is already encoded. When identity shifts, reality follows, not instantly, but inevitably. Delays occur when identity fluctuates. When you move into alignment briefly and then retreat into doubt, the signal becomes inconsistent. Reality waits for stability, not because it is slow, but because it is precise. Precision requires clarity. Clarity requires coherence. Coherence requires identity alignment. This is also why small manifestations often occur easily while large ones feel blocked. Small outcomes do not challenge identity. Large ones do. The nervous system resists identity expansion more than outcome size. To manifest at higher levels, identity must expand to include more ease, more worthiness, more safety. This expansion feels unfamiliar at first, and unfamiliarity triggers hesitation. That hesitation is felt as delay. The solution is not forcing belief. It is familiarizing the system. Familiarity is created through repeated emotional experiences, not mental arguments. This is why embodiment practices work better than visualization alone. When the body learns a new baseline, identity follows. And when identity follows, the field responds. The universe does not need to be impressed. It needs to be understood. Once you understand that identity is the mechanism, manifestation stops being mysterious. It becomes inevitable. Reality does not ask what you want. It asks what you expect. It asks what feels normal. It asks what you are prepared to receive without resistance. And it answers accordingly. If this part is unsettling, it means it's touching something real. Because this understanding removes the illusion of control and replaces it with responsibility. But responsibility is power when applied correctly. Because identity can be shifted. Not instantly, not forcefully, but deliberately. And that is where the final transformation happens. At some point in this understanding, a subtle shift happens. You stop asking how to make reality change, and you start noticing how you change when you stop trying to force it. This is the moment where manifestation moves out of theory and into lived experience. Not as a technique, but as a state of being. The final truth is simple but demanding. Reality does not reorganize around desire. It reorganizes around stability. And stability comes from identity that has settled into coherence. Most people never reach this stage because they are addicted to effort. Effort feels productive. Effort feels responsible. Effort gives the illusion of progress. But effort is often a cover for distrust. It signals to the system that reality must be pushed, managed, or controlled to deliver outcomes. The quantum field does not respond to pressure. Pressure compresses identity. Compression narrows possibility. Expansion happens when the nervous system relaxes into a new normal. This is why embodiment matters more than belief. Belief is cognitive. Embodiment is biological. Your body must recognize the desired state as safe before reality can stabilize it externally. Safety is the gateway. If abundance feels unsafe, it will arrive inconsistently. If visibility feels unsafe, recognition will fluctuate. If peace feels unsafe, chaos will reappear. Reality mirrors safety, not preference. Becoming the signal means slowly teaching your system that what you desire is not a threat. This teaching does not happen through affirmations. It happens through lived moments of regulation, neutrality, and self-trust. You are not convincing the universe. You are reconditioning yourself. This is why the deepest manifestation shifts feel strangely ordinary. There is no fireworks, no emotional surge, no dramatic confirmation. Things simply start working. Opportunities appear without urgency. People respond differently to you. Timing aligns without effort. You may not even notice the shift at first because it does not announce itself. It integrates quietly. This quiet integration is the hallmark of identity alignment. When identity aligns, desire loses its charge, not because the desire disappears, but because it no longer defines you. The emotional hunger dissolves. Curiosity replaces craving. Expectation replaces hope. And expectation is a calm frequency. This is why manifestation accelerates after detachment. But detachment is often misunderstood. Detachment is not indifference. It is independence from outcome-based identity. It is no longer using the outcome to validate your worth, safety, or direction. The moment you stop needing the result to feel complete, the system reads completion. Completion collapses probability faster than effort ever could. This is the paradox most people struggle with. The less you need it, the faster it arrives. Not because the universe is playing games, but because need is a signal of lack. And lack cannot produce fulfillment. Fulfillment must be assumed before it is expressed. Assumption does not require fantasy. It requires familiarity. Ask yourself this: who would you be if this outcome were already normal? Not perfect, not ecstatic. Normal. How would you move? How would you speak? How would you relate to time? How would you respond to delay? These questions do more for manifestation than visualization ever will, because they shift identity from longing to embodiment. Identity shifts happen in the small moments. in how you respond to uncertainty, in how you regulate disappointment, in how quickly you return to calm after disruption. These moments teach the nervous system that stability is available, and stability is magnetic. The universe responds to those who are internally settled. This does not mean you stop acting. It means action stops being charged. You still take steps, but they are guided by clarity rather than urgency. You move because it makes sense, not because you are afraid of missing out. Action from urgency contracts identity. Action from clarity expands it. Expansion invites coherence. This is also why manifestation cannot be rushed. Rushing is an admission of distrust. It says, if I don't hurry, this won't happen. That assumption collapses probability into delay. When timing is trusted, it synchronizes. Time responds to identity just as much as outcomes do. This is why people often say, everything happened so fast once it started. It did not start suddenly. Identity stabilized. The moment identity stabilizes, reality no longer hesitates. This does not mean challenges disappear. It means challenges stop defining you. They become events, not identities. And events pass. You are no longer asking reality for permission. You are allowing it to respond. Becoming the signal also means releasing the need to constantly understand. Understanding can become another form of control. At some point, you stop analyzing why things are working and simply allow them to work. Trust deepens. And trust is not blind belief. It is familiarity with alignment. You have experienced this before, even if briefly. Moments when things flowed without effort, when conversations aligned, when decisions felt obvious, when outcomes arrived without struggle. Those moments were not luck, they were glimpses of coherence. The work is not creating those moments, it is sustaining them. Sustainability is identity. This is where patience becomes effortless, not because you are waiting, but because you are not measuring time against desire. You are living in the state that desire pointed toward. At this stage, manifestation no longer feels like a practice. It feels like a relationship with reality. Responsive, reciprocal, calm. You stop thinking in terms of getting. You start thinking in terms of expressing. What you express stabilizes. What stabilizes reflects. What reflects reinforces identity. This loop now works in your favor. Reality does not need to be convinced. It needs to be met. And meeting happens when you become what you are asking for. This is why the phrase, "You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are," is not a warning. It is an invitation to stop outsourcing your power to techniques, rituals, or timing, and start inhabiting the state that already contains what you seek. The universe is not watching your vision board. It is responding to your baseline. And your baseline is something you can gently, patiently, deliberately shift. Not through force, not through obsession, but through coherence. If this message reached you now, it means you are ready to stop chasing signals and start becoming one. Because the moment you do, reality has no choice but to answer.